Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my pregnancy and my delivery story. Um, my son is already 8.5 months old. He will be 9 months on the 17th of February. So it has been a while since I've been pregnant and since I delivered my son. I mean, he is not one yet, but yeah, usually people film these kinds of videos right after their baby is born, but I wasn't sure. Like, I'm barely starting to get back into YouTube, and I just took time off of YouTube after my son was born and throughout my pregnancy. In my January Q&A, I asked you guys if you wanted me to talk about my pregnancy and my delivery story, and a lot of you guys actually were interested in me talking about this, so that's why I am sitting here right now and filming this video. So yeah guys, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so when I found out I was pregnant, it was like the last day of September, and I had not gotten my period for that month. And I normally got my period like towards the end of the month, but not like the very end, like just towards the end. So I remember like a week before I found out I was pregnant, I remember telling my sister how I haven't had my period yet, and she asked me if I thought I was pregnant, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think so. And a week later passed, and it was the last day of September, and I had not gotten my period at all that month, like not even like spotting or anything. So me and Robert that night, we ended up picking up a pregnancy test. I think we got like a 2-pack, and I think it was like a 2-pack or a 3-pack. I think it was a 3-pack. It was like probably like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I remember we came home and I was gonna take a shower, and I was just gonna take the pregnancy test before I took a shower. But I actually remember before taking this pregnancy test, like there was another time where I thought that I was pregnant, and I remember taking a pregnancy test and it coming out negative. So like we were wanting to have a baby. So Elijah was pretty much planned. But I remember like when I thought I was pregnant before, I remember feeling kind of like sad when I found out it was negative, just because I was like, oh, I think I am, but I wasn't. So that was like probably like a month before, like a couple months before I actually found out that I was pregnant. But yeah, we got home and I was gonna take a shower. I was gonna, take the pregnancy test and then take a shower, but Robert wanted to see the results with me. Like, he didn't want me to see them on my own. So I told him that I was gonna, pee on the stick and then just have it sit there, not look at it. I had it like covered, and I was gonna take a shower, and when I got out of the shower, we were gonna look at it. So that's what we did. And I remember I got out of the shower and I walked into the room, and Robert, like, he thought I had looked at it already, and I told him that I hadn't. So we started walking into the bathroom, and he went first. He went like first, and like I remember just looking a look on his face, like he just picked up the stick and he was smiling, and like I thought it was a negative for some reason, because we were both nervous. Like, we both wanted to have a baby, but we were both nervous too, like having a baby is a big deal. But anyway, so when I saw him like that, like I thought like it was negative, and then like he showed it to me and I saw that it said pregnant. I got like the digital one, so it said pregnant, and like, I don't know, I had like a whole bunch of emotions hit me at once. Like, I couldn't believe it. But anyways, we thought it was crazy, and I ended up taking another one again just because I thought, what if it's wrong? And I also thought, because like the other pregnancy test I had taken a couple months back, like a couple months before then, it was like a different brand. It wasn't digital. We took another pregnancy test again after that, and it came out positive again. And so we're like, oh, like, I think I'm pregnant. And like we just both had mixed feelings. Like, we were happy, excited, nervous, especially nervous to tell his parents, because they were more like, they wanted us to live our lives and have fun before we like had a baby, because we're both 23 right now. At the time I had barely turned 22, and Robert also, like, he turned 22 like 3 months before then. Right now we're both 23, but like usually people our age, they don't really plan to have a baby at this age. They're all about having fun and going out and stuff. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. But we ended up going to sleep that night. I still couldn't believe it. I wasn't sure if it was right or not. So then The next morning, I took the third pregnancy test, and it also came out positive. And like, I was like, okay, I think I'm pregnant because first of all, when taking a pregnancy test, you should always take it in the morning because that's when your hormones, like the pregnancy hormones, are the highest. So like the fact that it came out positive in the nighttime, like, you know, that was crazy because that meant I was like pregnant, because for it to show up that I was already pregnant for me taking a pregnancy test at night, but I was just being skeptical about it, I guess. So after that, we went about our day, and I remember I was like avoiding coming home because I didn't want to face Robert's parents. Because even though I wasn't going to tell them myself, because Robert was working and he got off later than I did. So after work, I was just being out and about, hanging out with my sister. I didn't tell my sister at all. And I was just waiting for Robert to get home because I didn't want to be home when Robert's parents were home and like me know this little secret, that I'm pregnant, and be talking to them and stuff. Like, I don't want to tell them, and I didn't want to be around them because I knew that I was pregnant. Anyways, so Robert came home, and I guess he told his parents, and then he called me and asked me where I was. I told him that I was like with my sister, and he told me to come home. And when I came home, he told me to go upstairs, and I guess he had already told his parents. They also had mixed emotions about it, but in the end they were happy, like they were excited. But so that was the hard part, like, was telling his parents. But I ended up going to confirm that I was pregnant, like through the clinic. And I took my sister Leslie with me, and I just told her if she could go with me to an appointment. I didn't tell her what it was for, and that was when right before we walked into the appointment, that's when I told her I was pregnant. And then she was like, she thought it was crazy, like she also had mixed emotions. And then like a couple days later, my mom lives out of town, so I didn't want to tell my mom over the phone. So a couple of days later, I ended up telling my sister Cassie, and then after that we went to where my mom lives, and I announced it to her, and she was happy. She started crying from how happy and excited she was, and I actually recorded me telling my family that I was pregnant, so I'll probably insert that so you guys can see that right now. Here, open this.
Why?
Because I want to see it. Open it.
Is it mine?
Maybe.
Is it money?
Maybe. Who knows?
Wait, tell me who it's from.
Open it, fool.
It's yours. It's a scholarship. I don't get it.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Take me home, Ina.
Why?
No. Oh, really? You're pregnant?
Yeah.
How do you know?
What do you not know?
Really? I don't know what to do.
Say something to Robert.
What
Tell Robert this.
Fuck you, Robert! No, I'm saying, really?
Yeah.
Swear.
No.
Oh my god, okay, here. There. It's for me to you.
It's for a grandchild. Why'd you make me open this? This is for Monica.
Oh,
wait, it's a grandchild. Okay.
I'm getting old, I can't see. Okay.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, you guys are kidding.
We're not.
Oh my god, Christina.
She's crying. Oh, I want to cry. Oh, congratulations. I'm so happy. I want to cry too, but it's good.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. I don't even think I cried when Monica was pregnant. I didn't. Oh, Christina,
No.
that's so awesome.
It's not like it. It's a Mexican. It's what you want.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Okay, guys, so you guys probably saw the footage, and it still makes me teary-eyed every time I watch it. Just, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it made you guys teary-eyed too, because everybody who watches it gets like teary-eyed. But anyways, the only people we told that I was pregnant right away was just our immediate families. Like even my extended family, like my uncles, my aunts, Robert's uncles and aunts, and you know, cousins and all that. We didn't tell those people until I was in my second trimester. So the only people who knew that I was pregnant in my first trimester was just our immediate families. So yeah, guys, that's how I found out I was pregnant, because I didn't get my period that whole month. And my whole pregnancy was really like, I always tell people I was a boring pregnant person because I did not have any symptoms. Like the only thing that I had was just extreme exhaustion. Like I remember I was always napping, like I would nap for like forever. And I was just always tired. And that's only like symptom that I pretty much had, but I didn't have any nausea or anything like that, which is good. But like every time people would ask me like, oh, how do you feel, or what are your symptoms, I'd be like, nothing. I just feel normal, you know. When we found out the gender of the baby, like I was not surprised. Like I actually wanted a girl just because I grew up with sisters and I wanted like my kids to have that strong bond like me and my sisters had. Like I didn't know what it was like to have a brother, you know. But even though I wanted a girl, like I knew that I was having a boy. Like I just knew it. So like when the person told us that we were having a boy, I wasn't even shocked at all. But like Robert was so happy because he wanted a boy. But me, like I was happy too, but I wasn't surprised. Like I wasn't like, you know, like I already knew that I was having a boy. I love my son and I wouldn't trade him for anything. I'm so happy that I have him and he's in my life. But yeah, we found out the gender on New Year's Eve, and we had a little gender reveal party with our immediate families only. We just had like dinner at a Mexican restaurant, and that was actually the first time that Robert's parents and my mom and her boyfriend met. That was the first time they met. And me and Robert at that point, we were together for like 3.5 years, going on 4 years at that time last year. So it was just crazy that they had never met before, you know, and they were gonna share this grandson. So yeah, so that's when they first met and they got along great. I was actually kind of nervous because they were meeting for the first time and I wanted them to like each other and get along, and luckily they did. So yeah, guys, that night was pretty cool. So as my pregnancy went on, I was still working throughout my whole pregnancy. I was working at the daycare still as a toddler teacher, so I was in the toddler room, and I remember Robert was really strict with me on like not picking up the toddlers, and even at the house, like he'd want me to walk slowly down the stairs and always have the light on, or he didn't want me to pick up heavy stuff. He was just really strict and concerned, you know. He wanted me to be okay at all times. But yeah, I worked like throughout my whole pregnancy, and it wasn't hard, but like I guess sometimes it was in a way, because you know I work with toddlers and like that requires a lot of like bending over, and you do have to pick them up sometimes, you know, like they're toddlers. Elijah's due date was May 25th of 2016, and my last day of work was a week before that, which was it a week before? Oh no, it was 2 weeks before that, which was May 13th. And the reason why I chose May 13th is because our pay period ends on the 15th of every month, so I wanted to have like one full paycheck, you know. So that's why I ended on because that was a Friday, so it was Friday, May 13th. So, and that way I would have had like one whole week before my due date, you know, to take time off. But like towards the end of my pregnancy, I started getting like really swollen, like my feet, my ankles, like I think it was just my feet and my ankles, like my legs. That's where I gained most of my pregnancy weight, in my thighs and my legs and stuff, which I did not need any weight gain in those areas. But yeah, so like towards the end of my pregnancy, like my feet and my ankles were extremely swollen, and like my doctor was actually starting to get concerned. I actually had a midwife. So she was starting to get concerned, and she actually had me going in twice a week towards the end because she wanted to test me for, what was it called? I forgot what it was called. That thing that Kim Kardashian had. Let me see. My doctor was concerned that I was going to get preeclampsia, which one of the symptoms of preeclampsia is having extreme like swellness, which is what I had. And it's also high blood pressure, but my blood pressure wasn't high. But one time at one of my doctor's visits when I was swollen, she took my blood pressure, and it wasn't high, but it was higher than usual. But it wasn't high blood pressure, but it was just higher than my normal, like what my blood pressure usually was. And like she would have me tested for preeclampsia, but it was always negative. The week before I gave birth, it was like on a Tuesday. When she was measuring my belly, she felt like Elijah was measuring big, and she started feeling my stomach, and she said that he felt like he was a big baby, and like, cause she can feel him like everywhere, you know. So she had me get an ultrasound, which I was kind of happy about because my midwife, she was like, she's kind of strict with ultrasounds. Like, I didn't get my first ultrasound till I was 20 weeks, and that was the only ultrasound she let us have. But me and Robert, we actually went to a place called Sweet Pea Imagery. I don't know if they're local or if like they're everywhere. I don't know that, but they're just like, they're just technicians that, you know, they do ultrasounds, and they do 3D ultrasounds. So we actually paid to get a 3D ultrasound done. We got lots of pictures, and we also got like a video of our ultrasound, so that was pretty cool. But anyways, so my midwife, like when she was concerned about how big Elijah felt in my stomach, she wanted me to get an ultrasound so they can estimate how big he was, which I was kind of nervous because like I didn't want him to be super big because I wanted to have him natural. And if he was too big, I wasn't going to be able to. So like they were going to have to induce me, they said. So I was also nervous because of that, but then I was happy that I was going to be able to see him again, you know, because I didn't really get many ultrasounds. That same day, we went to the ultrasound, and this was like the beginning of the week. So we got our ultrasound done, and the lady couldn't tell us like if she could see that he was big or not. But anyways, I remember she gave us a picture though, and like his face was all smushed because I was already like, at this point I was already 38 weeks. Yeah, I was 38 weeks already. So that's when I got the ultrasound done, and you know, that was the beginning of the week, and my last day was gonna be that same week, but on Friday, May 13th. And I remember being at work on the 11th, which was 2 days before my last day of work, and I remember just feeling very tired. My back was hurting and my feet were just swollen. I remember just telling my boss that, you know, I think this is it for me. I don't think I want to work the next 2 days. I wanted to be off already. So May 11th was my last day, which I was 37 weeks and 1 day pregnant. Or 37 weeks and like 2 days, I believe, something like that. But and then on Friday, I went in for my next, you know, because I told you they wanted me going in twice a week. So this was my second time going in that week to get checked out. And my midwife actually wasn't there. It was another midwife that was seeing me. And, you know, I was still swollen, but I still tested negative for preeclampsia. And she told me that Elijah was estimated to be like 9 pounds. I think it was 9 pounds 5 ounces that he was estimated to be. I don't really remember, but it was something around there. Like, it was definitely like 9 pounds that he was estimated already. Like, so she told me that, and she wanted to feel for herself, you know, because I told her how my midwife felt that he was really big just by like feeling him, like, and touching my stomach. So she had me lay down, and she felt, she's like, oh yeah, he does feel like, I feel him everywhere, you know, like she could tell like where his head was, where his legs were, like, she said everywhere she touched, she just felt him. So she told me, she wasn't my midwife, so she couldn't tell me like what she wanted to do with me, but she told me that she thought that my midwife would recommend for me to get induced at 39 weeks, because if we waited too long, then he would have been too big, which means I would have had to have a C-section. I remember that day I went home, and I thought it was crazy that there was a chance of me getting induced, because I didn't really want that, you know. I wanted to experience natural, you know, me going into labor on my own. I didn't want to get induced.